here shortly once we get into the show. But we've got some picks that I want to discuss. We've already had a few punches out on the day, and we got some outcomes on these punches, and we were able to hit both. We tweeted these plays out on the Ticket Punchers account earlier in the day. We hit the 2 UCL games that were on today in the knockout stages. Bayern Munich in action, going up against Real Madrid. That one started at 3 o'clock. We took the under 3.5 in that matchup, and we were able to get the job done. They were able to get the job done. It was a sweat. 74th minute goal from Mbappe to go into the 2-0 lead that Bayern Munich held. And then Real Madrid turned up the intensity from there. Lots of chances in the last 15 minutes of this game, but we had a 2-1 score. So it was sweaty. It was sweaty, but Manuel Neuer, 40 years old, one of the best goalies of all time, showed why he's one of the best goalies of all time and showed that he still has it and did a great job keeping the ball out of the net outside of that one lone goal. Hit the top of the post, bounced in, and it was one of those where it went over the goal line, but it was a very sloppy goal. Great performance from Neuer in this one, and we hit the under 3.5 in that matchup. We also hit the Arsenal money line, the other game that was in action today in the Champions League over Sporting Lisbon, the Portuguese side that's still in the quarterfinal stages of the Champions League. But Kai Havertz, in the 91st minute of this game, which had, I believe, 2 or 3 minutes of extra time added to it, gets the job done with a late winning goal. 2 minutes added, 91st minute goal for the money line to cash the 2 plays for today. I'm feeling good, Curtis, as we now have Curtis Phillips Jr. joining us here on the show, our co-host and handicapper. Curtis, long weekend that we had this past weekend, a lot of bets that we got out there, a lot to react to with the Final Four and the championship game that we had last night. How are you today, though, sir?
Doing good, Roman. Had a great weekend. Good Easter weekend. So, I'm ready to start the week off in the right fashion. How you doing today?
Doing all right. I'm excited as well. We've got a Kings game this week that we'll touch on some of the shows throughout this week. We've got maybe a couple of program notes, not today, but in the works for the time frame of the show going on. Maybe have an extra day that there's going to be put on the Ticket Puncher schedule. We're going to see about that going forward. But there's a lot of exciting things happening with the Ticket Punchers, and there's a lot of games to be betting, Curtis. Let's recap the weekend bets. So the last day we were on air, obviously, was the 3rd. We don't do the Monday show here on the Big X, at least at the moment. And a lot of plays that we gave out on Friday as we wait for J.R. Anderson to also join us. I just talked about the 2 plays that I gave out earlier today on the soccer side of things. But let's recap the Friday plays, Curtis, because we both gave out some plays for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What did the overall weekend record look like?
Yeah, I'll go through each day. Friday, we go – well, I dropped some Saturday bets for Friday. So, overall, for those days, we technically went 1-4 with a few bad beats there. Pacers team total over 108.5, finished right at 108. UConn team total under the 69.5 versus Illinois. They finished at 71, so some free throws at the end to go right over that. And then I'll manually just not count this on my record, but the Juan Soto 2+ hits, runs, RBIs. He gets a hit first at bat, and then I forget who was up behind him, gets a base hit. He's rounding second and third and pulls a hamstring, and now he's out indefinitely. So the guy that replaced him did end up scoring, but that's going to be voided for us. So we go technically 1-4 on Friday, and then we had some punches on Easter Sunday. Those went 3-2, and then yesterday, Monday's punches, we go 1-3, but if you played any of the jabs, you did profit. We had some big plus money jabs yesterday that came through on some no home runs. So overall, it wasn't that bad of a weekend.
You've been pushing the plays out with the baseball, Curtis, and I've been really appreciating that. You almost hit a couple exciting no home run parlays that would have been a major plus to the units that we've been able to accumulate here in 2026. So I'm excited to see how these reads continue to fold into this week. going forward. Not a bad weekend, Curtis. Glad to see you had some success. We hit a few plays. We missed a few plays. We'll start off with we took the plus 6.5 on the tournament on the national championship game. We had the UConn money line on their Final Four matchup as well. So we were able to hit a couple of things at the end of the tournament here. But when you look into our other plays from on Friday, Curtis, one play that we had in the NBA, it was an interesting one. It was the Bucks Celtics over, and it did not look like this one in the first half was on a great trajectory, but the Celtics continued to Bucks picked it up basically there at the end. Even in the blowout spot, like we mentioned, we still felt like they were going to score enough to get over, and that's exactly what happened. We hit the Celtics in that one, and the MLB plays for me, they've been hit or miss. They've been hit or miss. I haven't had a lot of hot plays, but I also haven't been really missing plays either. We took the Mariners money line on Friday. We hit that. Took 10 innings after we were kind of weary on taking it with what Joe Adele had done. Joe Adele, we were weary taking it again later in the weekend with what Joe Adele had done. But we still hit the Mariners money line on Friday. Christian Javier under his outs recorded. We hit that one as well. And the Brian Wu outs recorded. We hit that. So no Astros money line, unfortunately, but we're still making some progress here in the MLB plays, Curtis. What'd you think of that national championship game, though, last night? You were on the Wolverines. You were big. Well, actually, you picked Arizona to beat the Wolverines in that matchup, but you liked whichever team won that game to win the national championship game. Were you able to make any money on the performance last night?
So I was trying to catch some live bets yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't get the wager on anything. I want to say it was early second half, about 5 minutes into the second half. I had UConn UConn plus 11.5, excuse me, in the bet slip at plus 100, and ultimately I just stayed away. Didn't know if Michigan was going to pull away, but that did come through. UConn, they fought the whole way, so but I didn't end up betting anything yesterday. That was my initial look because I knew a lot of people would be on the Michigan side of things in terms of the spread. So I didn't get the wager or anything, but that was what I was leaning towards live, trying to get some live bets in. So
we hit the 6.5 and we hit the under. I don't think we actually dropped those as officials yesterday. I think we gave them out on the run-in and the Mike Rutherford show, so we're not going to count those for our record. But we did have some success with the national championship game. Curtis, I want to see what we're thinking about the NBA right now, because while the top teams are performing, it feels like there is a influx of blowouts with the mid-level teams. And if you've got a good team playing a bad team, you can just go ahead and chalk it up. What do you think has contributed to these NBA blowouts at this point of the season? Why does it feel like we hit March, April, and then all of a sudden the bad teams look really, really bad? The mid-level teams are in and out with their rotations. It looked like there's not this overwhelming, dying desire to go be a play-in team or make sure you're ensuring you're a play-in team. Do you think teams start coasting if they're not one of those top 6 seeds at this point of the year? Do you think that the parity in the NBA has gotten to a big discrepancy? What do you think's gone into some of these blowouts, Curtis?
Yeah, it's tough to call, but I mean, just from what I've watched the past few months, it's really been a bad brand of basketball. I think it starts with the defense. You know, a lot of teams, players just not caring to defend, and you see that reflect on the offense as well. And we know teams have been tanking, whether they are intentionally, trying to, or whether whatever may cause that. But it's just really been a bad brand of basketball all around. Each night in the NBA, we see multiple blowouts, and that's why I've kind of just been going light on the NBA slates, because it's just been hard to watch, hard to bet on. You lose a lot of money with player props, not expecting a blowout in a 3-point spread, and then it ends up being a blowout, and it's just been I think there's lots of factors for the blowout. So
I think, Curtis, we're going to have you step away for just 1 second here. No worries on that. We'll have you back here in just a moment. We'll keep your mic on and turn it back up when you get back in here. But as Curtis has mentioned, we've had a lot of blowouts. And I think that part of the reason why is teams will play a first quarter of a game and see how well that they can hit shots and stay within one of these playoff teams. And after that, they kind of will hide the way that they'll go about tanking the rest of a game. Change the rotations up completely. Have starters not playing starter minutes. Have guys not really in the right positions. And they're just trying to see what they can go out there and do. It's weird, though, because we just haven't seen it be this bad at this point of the year. When you look at playoff teams, even in that top 6 seed, you know who's going to be there. You know who's not going to be dropping out. You'll still occasionally see a team like the Raptors or the Hawks. And on the Western Conference side, you'll see a Rockets team or a Timberwolves team out of nowhere just get blown out. And it's not really something I've expected in this season, and we kind of have to monitor it. But like Curtis mentioned, it's hard to bet the team props when you don't know what you're going to get out of some of these seeds game in and game out. When we look at the Lakers season in specific, we got up to that 3rd seed spot. We were overachieving in what had been happening offensively for us this season, with Luka playing at an all-time high scoring level, the best offensive season he had been having in quite some time. All of a sudden, all of that's gone. Luka hurt. AR hurt. Team was still struggling defensively before both of these guys go down. And you were struggling to find consistency with your shooters outside of those guys as well. LeBron showed, he's got enough in the tank to go out there and be a 30 points and 15 assists kind of guy still, but he's not going to be able to do it by himself with this group of guys around him. We looked great against the Mavericks offensively, scoring 128 points, every single starter getting in double figures, 20-point scorer off the bench, but it's just you're not getting any stops. Rui Hachimura is not defending at an extremely high level. Drake LaRavia is not defending at an extremely high level. And DeAndre Ayton is he's what we expect him to be. Luke Kennard, love him. 16 rebounds, 11 assists, 15 points. You don't see Luke Kennard triple-doubles very often. So I'm glad that we're getting the contributions from him. And Jake's played every game, so I like that we've gotten the reliability out of him. But when you're a team that prides itself on outscoring on offense and you lose your 2 best scorers, there's not much hope going forward. Steph Curry makes his return over on Sunday. Line was at 19.5 points because of the expected lack of minutes he would play in this one. 26 minutes played, 29 points, 5 for 10 from 3, 1 turnover, 4 assists. He looked like he hadn't missed a beat out there at all. I know that they have been extra cautious about any Steph injuries these last couple of times it's happened. They want to make sure they get him back out there at full health when he does return to the floor, because you can't waste any moment of having Steph Curry. But the Warriors are they're in the 10th seed. They're in a play-in spot. I can see them passing up the Trailblazers, but I don't see them getting up to that into that 8 seed spot. They're going to have to win 2 to get in. I see them losing to the Clippers or the Suns. Just too much time without Steph. And then obviously losing Jimmy Butler was a major, major factor in their season. It's still good to see the old guys out there hooping, though. You still like to see Steph getting the job done. I was scared of that 19.5-point line was scaring me, because I'm thinking, well, he must be projected to play 20 minutes in this game. And still, in 26 minutes, gets to his scoring average or gets over his scoring average. And in tonight, they've already got his line juiced up. They don't expect him to slow down. 24.5 points is his point line for tonight, going up against the Kings, which 23.5, I'm sorry. I expect him to get close to that number. Blowout spot for the Warriors tonight going up against the Kings, so we're going to avoid betting any Warriors props. But we gave out a prop on the Mike Rutherford show, and we're going to go ahead and make this our first official punch of the night. Celtics matched up with the Charlotte Hornets at 8:10 p.m. in Boston, with Jaylen Brown healthy, set to go here in this one. And Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum currently at the moment set to play as well. Now we know what this Hornets team has been in the 2026 calendar year, best offensive rating in the league. They consistently go on the road and beat good teams, coming off of a win in Minnesota over the Timberwolves. No Anthony Edwards in that game, but still, it's knocking off a playoff team in the West. Beat the Suns by 20 points last week on their home floor. Good defensive teams, some of the best defensive teams in the league. They're just handling them, scoring 120 points on them. And they're going up against the Celtics tonight. And this is a matchup that I expect to be a close one. I don't see the Hornets getting to that 120-plus mark in this game. The last two times these teams saw each other was March 29th, right at the end of the month. And Boston beat the same Charlotte team at full health, 114-99, without Jason Tatum. Con Knippel played, Lonzo Ball played, Diabate played, Brandon Miller played, and Mikal Bridges played. Miles Bridges, I'm sorry. Those five are the five that have had the best offensive rating in the NBA since the calendar year switched to 2026. Celtics handled them, got up early, and never looked back. In a game which, like we mentioned, Jaylen Brown didn't play. Jason Tatum was the one that played in this one. With Tatum and Brown playing tonight, I don't see the Celtics losing this game. They opened up at 6.5-point favorites, now down to 4.5-point favorites. I think that when you look at some of the other matchups that Boston's had recently, they haven't been defending like you expect them to, allowing 100 points out of the Bucks, 101 points out of the Raptors, 130 out of the Heat. I still think on their home floor, though, they're the team to beat in the East. Since Jason Tatum's been back, they've been on a tear, and they're going to get a win tonight here as well, in my eyes. We're going to drop the Celtics money line straight up, but we also are going to play the 4.5 points. I think that when you look at that line, if it does come down to it being close, them up 3, up 4 at the end of the game, you're going to get a foul situation. If you look on FanDuel, the line's at 4 even, which is a perfect spot to take the minus 3.5 for the Celtics. And the odds on that right now do sit at, let's see here, let's get that right, minus 122. So we're going to take the minus 3.5 at minus 122 in favor of the Boston Celtics over the Charlotte Hornets tonight for our first official punch of the evening. Like we said, already 2-0 on the day in the soccer realm, so we're feeling good. Curtis joining us now back on the Ticket Puncher show. Had to go solve a few things. Don't know if you're unmuted yet here, Curtis, but we just gave out the Celtics money line, and we gave out the Celtics minus 3.5. Money line was the play that we gave out on the Rutherford show today. We liked the 3.5. We saw what the Celtics did in Charlotte the last two times these teams played without Jaylen Brown. I see the Celtics getting a victory over the Hornets tonight. That's going to be my first punch. Give us a reaction to that, and then go ahead and drop an NBA punch for us.
Yeah, I do like the Celtics at home dominant team going against the Hornets, who have been pretty red hot. But so I like that. As far as you, I honestly do not have any NBA punches for tonight's slate. I've been all MLB today. So
all MLB today. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drop one more punch then in the NBA for tonight. We've got Anthony Edwards out for the Timberwolves tonight as they go up against the Pacers in Indiana. And with no Anthony Edwards and what we've seen from these Wolves without Anthony Edwards, I'm feeling a Pacer prop here. I'm feeling a Pacer prop. I really wish we could get Pascal Siakam playing here in this one, Curtis, but we have had some success on the Jerice Walker 2+ 3-pointers. He's sitting at minus 192 on the 2+ tonight. Somebody's got to get the shots up for the Pacers. I see a lot of pick and pops for Jerice Walker tonight, and we're going to take him on the 2+ 3-pointers for our second NBA prop of the evening. No NBA for Curtis Phillips tonight, as he's already mentioned, but Curtis has been hot in the MLB. What you got for us, Curtis? A few games already ending in the MLB, but still a lot of games on the slate. Throw out some official punches for us.
Yeah, I'll start off by fading my Cincinnati Reds, and not necessarily on the money line or run line, but I will take the Reds team total under 3.5 at minus 120. This is a number that we've only eclipsed 2 out of 10 games this season. So we're 2-8 to the under on that, and we're facing a pretty good pitcher tonight, and Sandy Alcantara that
Sandy, the old man.
Yeah, he's looking more like his Cy Young self. So through 2 starts, he's only allowed 7 total hits, no earned runs. Just came off a complete game. So I think our bats struggle once again, and we don't get to 4 runs. I am also going to take the Braves on the run line, the -1.5 at +119. Braves going up against Kikuchi. A lot of these hitters have had previous success versus Kikuchi, and he's already had 2 bad starts. And all of Braves wins, they've won on the run line, so I'm going to take them to win by 2 tonight as well. And then it's Dinger Tuesday again, so I'll drop a little jab. And that's going to be Christian Walker to get a home run. I forget the original odds on this, but DraftKings has a 50% MLB profit boost to get this up to +549. He's had great success versus Kyle Freeland, and you're playing in Coors Field, the most hitter-friendly ballpark in the MLB. So Christian Walker to get a home run, and I'm also, this will be official punch, Christian Walker to get 1+ RBI at +119, something that he's had and I believe 7 of the 9 games this season. So if I think he's going to get a home run, obviously I think he'll get a runner batted in. And I'll drop one more jab. Padres, Pirates, no home run at +300. It's going to be a lot of cold weather games in the Northeast today throughout the whole MLB. And the wind will be blowing in this ballpark. And especially the Padres, they've really been struggling on offense. So I'm gonna fade those bats today, and you have 2 really good pitchers on the mound, and Paul Skeens and Nick Pivetta. So a jab for Padres Pirates, no home run.
I like that, Curtis. Curtis coming with the heat today on the MLB side of his punches. Go get those punches ticketed in. We have got a lot in store for you guys this week. We're going to get J.R. Anderson back on the show any day now. But Curtis, I've got a prop as well that I was looking into. You know what it is. We've got a matchup of the rematch. Blue Jays, Dodgers. I think this one's going to be pretty exciting. I think that with Guzman on the mound, though, and Yamamoto on the mound, I don't think this is going to be exciting in the first 5 innings. So we're going to take the first 5 innings, total runs under 4.5 as our only MLB play on the day, with Yamamoto and Gaussman going at it for the Dodgers and Blue Jays. How do you feel about that one, Curtis?
Yeah, I do like that. Gosman especially has really been dealing. I believe he had 11 and 10 strikeouts in his first 2 games. I don't think he's allowed an earned run. And Yamamoto, we know it, in terms of Yamamoto's perspective, it's been mid performances, but we know he can crank it up at any time. This Blue Jays offense lately has not been doing well, so I think the offense can be a little bit. Both offenses can be slowed down a little bit in that matchup. So I do like that, Roman.
Taking the first 5 on it. Just going to see if we can have a quiet start to that one there. That's going to be our only MLB prop of the day. And this is going to bring us now to the outro of the show. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and punching those tickets with us here today. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:30 to 6 right here on the Big X. But if you want to tune in for some more talk here with our ticket punchers, we're going to be live still on X and on YouTube following our radio side of the show for a few more minutes. And we're going to try to get that triple punch parlay out there for you guys as well. To our radio listeners, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the podcast listeners as well. And Curtis, without further ado, let's go punch those tickets.
Let's punch those tickets.
Curtis. We got that. So first 5 under 4.5 runs. All right, Curtis. I got all my. Actually, Curtis, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I had another punch I wanted to drop.
Okay.
We're gonna add the
Sure.
Jason Tatum 8+ rebounds for a little bit of juice on that Celtics -3.5.
All right. Jason Tatum, what was it?
8+ rebounds.
Yeah, he's been boarding up lately for sure.
And then I wanted to ask you a question centered around a matchup tonight. Tigers, Twins, over under. I get it's Bradley going up against Scooble, but it's 6.5 runs, Curtis. You think the bats are this weak right now? The bats are that dead for the Twins and the Tigers? Don't know if you heard me there, Curtis. Now we've got Curtis buffering here. Don't know if he's able to hear us or not, how he's going to get back in. But we did get our official punches out there that we were all certain on. Guess at the end of the day, I don't need to let Curtis talk me into anything, but there's a lot of good pitchers on the mound tonight, and I want to get a better read on some of these games. Padres with Pivetta on the mound going up against Skeens for the Pirates. Over-under is sitting at 6 in that one. Mizorowski for the Brewers going up against Crotchet for the Red Sox. 6 on that one. Schlitter on the mound going up against Savale for the Athletics. I mean, Curtis.
Sorry about that. I don't know what.
No, it's all good. But Curtis, we've got so many close lines on the money line for these games today. I mean, Padres. I mean, you can feel like there's the opportunity for a very exciting 3-leg parlay just in the MLB today.
Yeah, I know. Before I lost connection there, you mentioned, was it Tigers Twins, the over and under there?
Yeah,
6.5. You said it seems a little bit low.
6.5 on that one seems low. Brewers, Red Sox is at 6. Padres, Pirates is at 6.
Yeah, like I told you, like I mentioned, like a lot of these games in like the northeastern mostly. I know Twins is more like Midwest, but they're low for a reason. A lot of temperatures in the 30s and 40s with wind blowing in, so I see why the totals are there. The Twins and Tigers game, I do lean to the under. Actually, obviously Scooble pitching, and then Taj Bradley, he's looking like they're a starter right now with under 1 ERA through. Well, I think it's only through 1 start right now. So I do lean to the under in that. And in a few of these games as well, Brewers, Red Sox, I do think that can actually go over. Just because but 2 great pitchers in Crochet and Mizorowski, but Mizorowski can have some control problems, and I think those 2 teams are just too good offensively to not get 6 or 7 runs there. But yeah, a lot of close lines for sure.
Super close lines. Let's build a little 3-leg parlay, Curtis, and then we're going to make it all in MLB for the day.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go with games that we've got starting at 6:40 or later, which is actually everything that's not started yet. When you see these lines, Curtis, I mean, what's your favorite money line of the day so that we've got left?
Now, don't typically fade my teams, but I do like the Marlins on the money line. I know we're 4-0 on the road, but just what I've seen from Alcantara.
I'm staying away from the Reds. We're not betting against your team right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Too hot. They're too hot, Curtis. They're too unreasonably hot for the amount of runs they've been scoring. I can see a 2-1 win tonight, unfortunately.
That's fair. Okay.
Now, if the Marlins was your favorite, though, that is what I asked you. So if that's your truth, I'm okay with that.
Now, do these have to be straight money line or run line, or can we touch a total?
I mean, if you have a total you love, yes, I'd like to bet a 3-leg parlay with some of the set lines on some of these games, just because
Right.
there's a lot of even pitcher matchups, right? So, like, do you think the Padres are? Do you really think the Pirates are going to beat the Padres?
I do lean the Pirates. I know Skeens hasn't totally been himself just yet, but I mean, I cannot trust those Padres bats by any means.
They swing at
Uh,
everything.
yeah, and they're coming off a win, so that I think that means we're actually off 3 straight wins. But I think Pirates bounce back at home, honestly. So I do lean the Pirates there.
I lean Pirates as well. So that's going to be our first leg of this parlay. We're going to take the Pirates.
All right.
That can be our 640 game unless there's another one we want. But out of the 646 games, Brewers, Red Sox, Cardinals, Nationals, do you have one you liked overly in that one?
No, I like the Nats yesterday. I didn't end up taking them, but they ended up coming through. I would typically like to stay away from that. Brewers, Red Sox, that's actually the other game I was going to place a no home run in, but I still think they can get over that 6 runs like they did yesterday without hitting a home run. And there was only one home run hit in that game yesterday. It was the bottom of the ninth, but I mean they scored a boatload of runs. So if it's right at 6, I'm not. I do lean to that over.
Should we look at it over 5.5 at
Yeah, if
minus
there's an alternate,
148?
yeah, I like that.
All right. So we've got, you know what? I really like the Dodgers, Toronto Blue Jays. Well, no, we're going to go. So over on the Brewers, Red Sox, it's alternate, but the line's 6. So we're just getting rid of the hook. I don't really view that as an alternate.
Right.
Red Sox, Brewers over, I'm sorry. Pirates money line. I mean, how do we feel about I don't bet against Kikuchi. I can't bet against Kikuchi.
There's another set line that I do like that I was going to take this morning as well, and it's the A's team total under 3.5. Let's
Against
see.
Schlitter?
Yeah, against yep, Schlittler.
Schlittler, sorry.
No, you're good.
Under 3.5 at minus 154.
Yeah, he's allowed in his 2 starts. He's allowed 3 combined hits, no earned runs, 7 and 8 Ks in each of those. And then when you look at the A's, they exploded for some runs, obviously at home in one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks. But on the road, they have not been putting up much runs outside of your 7 runs against Blue Jays and 5 runs against the Braves. You've really been struggling on the road. 1 run, 0, 2, 2. So they've really, outside of those 2 games on the road, they've really been struggling. Yankees, I believe, have the best team ERA in the whole entire league through 10 games. So I do think the A's bats will be sluggish today.
I'm with you on it. I'll rock with you on it.
But well, I mean, what do you like though? You like anything?
I think.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't love anything. I liked the Rangers money line with Evoldi on the mound.
That was a big lean for me as well this morning.
But Kirby's no slouch on the other side, so I kind of leaned on the under 7.5 in that one.
I'm not mad at that either. I like the Rangers specifically. I know Eovaldi has struggled, but both of his starts have been on the road, whereas Kirby's both starts have been at home, and he struggled in one of those. So I think Eovaldi coming back to Texas.
Ready to get back going, how we know what we like. We know of him.
Yeah, I think he gets back in form here, but I do. Sorry about that. I do lean towards the under as well. What up,
so
buddy?
yeah, I've got the Rangers, and then I was going to take that that Dodgers first 5 innings prop.
Okay.
Yeah, the first 5 inning under.
Yeah.
At
I
under
like that.
4.5.
Got the hiccups.
Okay. I like the Heat to win straight up.
I feel like you have bad luck with my Heat, Roman. I'm sorry.
I do have bad luck
On
with
the
your Heat.
show, at least.
You know what, though? We're taking the under 241.5 in that game here on this little bit of a fun parlay we've got.
Okay.
No hockey for you tonight, Curtis?
Not as of right now. I didn't get to dive deep into hockey or geez, sorry about that. Hockey or NBA.
I had a hockey jab. We had a jab on the under 6.5 for the Bruins Carolina Hurricanes game. And that was it.
Under 6.5?
Yeah. I want to play the correct score in that one.
Bruins at home?
No, they're in Carolina.
Okay. I mean, two really good defensive teams. I'm not mad.
It's kind of what I'm banking on. It's really the only factor that went into that play there. And feeling like every time the Bruins are on the road, they're always in like a 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 kind of game.
Right.
But that wraps up all the plays that I really got here. We'll get those tweeted out for sure. But
yes, sir. I'm gonna drop a live play. I think it just started, but Duke and Eastern Carolina over 13.5. Both of these teams been kind of high scoring lately, so I'm actually gonna place that now. See what the odds are, if it'll give me it. I'm about to find it. I have to dig on DK. So we'll just scratch that if I can't find it. Yep.
we will. So I've gotten word here. A quick program note for ticket punchers. J.R. Anderson will be off the show for a little bit temporarily. It will just be Curtis and I going forward for the beginning of our summer here. JR is dealing with some things, both with work and some family-related things as well. So makes this time frame on the day a little bit busy, but might be a week or two, might be a month or two. We'll have JR Anderson back on the show definitely going forward. Just not going to be in the next few weeks, I would imagine. All good, though. We'll still get his plays. We'll still make sure he's getting his plays tweeted as well, because we know what he's capable of doing with these books. And we've got NBA playoff basketball ahead of us, so definitely need to get him back before that.
For sure.
Curtis, that's going to wrap us up here for the day. Great show, great set of plays. Let's go punch those tickets and let's go make some money tonight, my man.
Yes, sir. Let's go punch those tickets, Roman.
Let's do it. We'll catch you tomorrow.